Hello, hello, everybody. You get to join me today if you're tuning in with my cat, Tux, who is obsessed with being in the chair behind me. We're going to dig into WordPress 7 today. Beta 3 just was released, and there are a lot of changes coming in this edition. So I want to make sure that I get through the testing that the test team has given to us. So let me grab my share screen with you. It's been a while since I've done some live streaming, so I'm really glad that you're joining in. Let's add in share screen, allow, and of course, I have to allow my browser. Still getting set up. All right. I think I've got screen 2 in there, and we should be good. Let's double check. There we go. Open system settings. All right. System settings say we're good to go. I don't know why StreamYard is putting up a bit of a fit, but hey, thanks for joining in. I would love to get a couple of comments from those of you that are tuning in. I see we've got a few friends with us today. Fantastic. All right, so beta testing can be pretty easy. At the very bottom, you see on the release post announcement that there is a link for the WordPress Playground instance. You're certainly welcome to spin that one up and give it a test. That's what I did during the release party. The release party basically is a Slack chat system that takes place in make.wordpress.org core teams channel. And inside of there, they publish, here's a link to the zip. Please start testing, but don't tell anyone you're testing. In a few minutes, we'll make everything really public. At the end of all of that, they give out the release post that tells you what has changed, what you can specifically test in this release. And you'll notice that here are the changes that we have on this release since beta 2 came out a week ago. And of course, the traditional haiku at the end, always fun. So I'm going to jump down to help test 7 and also this patterns test. We may have time to get through both, but we'll see. I want to make sure that we get through the basics of testing 7. So Ankit wrote a post for us. This is on make.wordpress.org/test. And on this site, we see that early testing is crucial. Stay informed, some basic general information. And then here we go into the testing tips. You don't have to be certified or be a QA, etc. And how to test beta versions. You can install software, which is what I'll use today, like local, or set up the environment on your entire local computer as well, or CLI. I'm skipping down to the directions. So here's the general checklist. Ensure the plugins and themes didn't deactivate after update. Check site health for any warnings. Confirm there are no layout breaks, misaligned, etc. So these are all kind of the normal for every test. And then finally down here, we get into the specific changes that we're going to see in this coming release. And this is really good for me to do because I want to make sure that our folks at GoDaddy are up to date with all the latest information on what's changing and how we're implementing and integrating that. So let's see how my build site is doing on local. Here we go. I will select the WP admin. Oh, let's turn on one-click admin login and turn on. So now I've got a brand new, fresh WordPress site. You'll see that it is 691. I'm going in to add the beta tester plugin that will let me upgrade. Beta tester. Do feel free to drop some comments in if you're watching along. I'd love to know that you're here. All right, install now from the beta tester. Activate. Today, while I'm waiting on this to activate, I've got a double shot of espresso going on in my mug. I went into the settings and you notice that brings me into tools and beta testing on the side. Under this bleeding edge, I'll switch over to beta or RC. Cool. And now we're able to start testing. So let's see. I'll move that up here. Visual revisions, testing steps, create content and revisions, create a new post or page, add a few different blocks, make several changes, and click update each time. Open the editor revisions and take a look at the difference. So let's show you this very short version of the revisions demo. You'll see that they're off making all the things. I'm kind of skipping through a little bit. You can view the page and also view the revisions. So this is a visual revisions approach compared to the last time. So in the past, that what we would see in the revisions would look like kind of code blocks of text. And this one is showing it to us in a more visual forward way, which looks amazing. So let's see if I can get it to do that. All right. Jumping back to the right tab. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to go make a post. You'll see, oh, I forgot to actually run the update. First, we have to run that update because it said 691 and I wouldn't see the changes yet. So update to version 7.0 beta 3 because of how I configured the beta tester plugin. All right. We've got some stuff filling in. That's still some of 6.9, but you'll see in the bottom right that this is 7.0 beta 3, which is great. So now I'm going to go make a new post. Welcome to the editor. Thank you. Title is my post. I like to type. In WordPress 7. Cool. We'll hit publish. Now I want to add some images to this. I'll go to the plus, go to media, open verse, and look for a rainbow. And this picture is pretty interesting. Insert an external image. Yep, that's fine. All right. Close that. And then I will change this to fix the capitalization. Thanks, Grammarly. And let's add in another block. We'll add in some buttons. Subscribe. Right? And I can delete this thing. And I'll hit save. I didn't even make the link go anywhere yet. View the post just to be sure. Post looks as I would expect. Okay, go back. And under the post area, I should see now when I look at the revisions, published time, revisions 3. And if I go back, I go from this is my post to here it is with a picture to there. It now has the button, and you'll see all of the different save points as well as the punctuation changes. So revision changing, I like that I could see this now, not in a code mode. I like seeing it more kind of in a visual layout. Cool. That one is done. That looked great. Next up. Yep, that's the revisions. Verify, text highlighted in green. We did that. Remove text, confirm, changed. Scroll markers and navigation. Yeah. And selection, non-editing. Yep, that all looks good. Font library support for more theme types. So we now have the ability to use Google Fonts locally, meaning they can be pulled in from Google Fonts, fonts.google.com directly into your site as a local install. And this is more performant, but we're adding in some more steps. Apply the fonts without relying on themes or additional plugins. The enhancement means owners using classic themes can now do this, so that's great. Testing steps. Verify font library in a classic theme. So I want to go back and install 2021 theme. Appearance. And add a theme. Let's add in 2021, the last classic theme that WordPress shipped as a default theme. We'll install. Have not been in the classic world in a while. All right. So we did that step. Appearance, fonts. Fonts page should appear even with classic theme. No UI breakage or missing styles. So by installing the classic theme, we get more of the options under this appearance than we had previously, because those are settings that come with the classic themes. So we'll go into the fonts. It's going to look kind of like what we see in a more block forward theme. So site editing ready themes would have some of those. I have the option over here to connect to Google Fonts. And once in, I can go look up different fonts choices. Let's see, category. Let's do a handwriting one. And kind of like this one, Architect's Daughter. Cool. I will select install. Font was now installed. That's great. Let's add in one more that is just a serif. And I'll grab Alice. Sure, Alice. Install. Okay. And then check back on directions. Expected fonts upload successfully. Use fonts in the block editor. Go make a post or a page, add a block, like a paragraph, open the typography, and select the font family, and select the ones that we just added. So Alice was one of them. I go into posts, and I add a post, and font test, right? Let's see. Let's see how this default sentence looks. Here we go. Right. And I pasted twice. Silly me. So this uses pretty much all of the alphabet. That's why the typing teachers made us use it. So now over here, I might want to go in and look at typography, font, default. Oh, and there I see. I have either what is default, or I could switch it over to either of the other two options that are there. I really actually kind of like that, because I can see making a case for having some handwritten fonts somewhat added in where it's not just inside of headings. So good on that for the classic theme. I like that one. Fonts appear, they render, update, publish, and view on the front end, just to be sure that it's all the way done. and view the post. Cool. Looks good to me. All right. Next up, what do we got? Responsive editing mode. The responsive editing mode introduces enhanced control over how the content appears across different devices. Site owners can do this. Testing steps. Go to the page post. On the page or post, you want to modify block visibility. Click on the block you want to hide. For a particular screen size, click the three dots in the right and then select. So we'll go back to, we're still in classic mode. And for now, that seems fine. We'll go back to this one. And maybe I want to hide this for some reason on a mobile device. So I'm going to click hide. And I might say hide this on mobile, right? Some things on mobile just don't work there. So I'm going to hit save. I wonder, oh, there we go. When I select, even in this view, when I select a mobile ratio to preview my things, it hides that image and it does it natively inside of this, which means that we no longer need all of the features that the block visibility plugin includes. I'm not sure, I haven't completely tested out if there are more settings that particular plugin offers that won't be in core, but if your basics were just hide it on mobile, that's probably covered for you. Modify the hide settings if needed. Click the block with the cross-eyed icon. Hide the block, panel open. All right, looks good. New admin improvements. It's a visual refresh of the admin interface aimed at modernizing the login experience. We'll just say that. Emphasize visual consistency, plugin compatibility, accessibility, and regression checks. So regression checks mean like what worked last time and does it also work this time? Has anything changed its appearance or its look? And so we're not seeing that yet. All right, testing. Review major admin screens such as the dashboard and check visual consistency, spacing, typography, test the plugin compatibility, activating some common plugins, and verify that admin layouts, buttons, and tables and forms all display correctly. All right, so let's do a little bit of a comparison. And for this one, I'm just actually going to use a Playground site because right now we're going to flip back and forth between 6.9.1 and 7.0. In 6.9.1, we see the colors are a little different than where they are now. So folks have been saying about this particular color of blue. If you happen to go to the WordPress.org website and look at that front of site, it's been that color of blue for several years now. Some folks noticed that when it was deployed across all of WordPress.org, this particular release, .org runs trunk, meaning whatever's currently in build. And so I believe so. So they are running, the latest of the latest for testing purposes on this release. And in doing so, that activated the switch when they flipped over from 6.9.1 across .org to 7.0. That blue is now also in the admin interface. And so you might want to check in with some plugins to see if that is at all different. For a reminder, it used to look like this, right? This particular version of blue. And if I look at, I was looking at posts before, you see kind of a not as vibrant of a blue. We're calling this version of blue blueberry. At least that's the variable name that is in WordPress.org's site, front of site. So they're using it on the front of site. So now we see it in the logged in experience across all of WordPress.org, which is totally fine and great. Hello, Carolina. Love to see you here. So I'm just running through the test, right? And so I am also looking at some of the things like we get a little bit of the I'm trying to remember the interactivity, I believe, is where we're seeing some of this animation effect click in and change. So when I click through the different menus on 7.0 versus on some of the other ones, you'll see it just kind of blinks at me, right? Whereas in this one, instead of getting a blink, I kind of get this graceful fade effect. And so I hope that it works well for those with reduced motion on their accessibility settings. I kind of like it. Um, it's a little different. So we see some color schemes. We're going to go in and add in a plugin, and I'm going to add in, let's put in Yoast, because I know that they have some branding inside of their plugin, some particular colors, etc., that are in there, and see if that's a conflict at all. Hello, Marcus. Glad to see you. You don't dislike the blue and really liking the view transitions. Yes, that's the name. The view transitions, that animation effect. Yeah, I am liking them. I would love some confidence from people that have some accessibility concerns to take a look at that for me and tell me if their computer is configured into reduce motion settings, does that apply to them? All right, so Yoast has some branding inside of this, and you'll notice that their flag icon does default to the normal blue. I'm going to skip all the basic setup stuff because this is just for a test, and we'll close this. So inside of this, I'm seeing the default blue appearance pop in, and I don't know if this is a Yoast styling choice to have a lot of the dashboard settings the way they do. I think that from this side of it, they're pretty well styled in a way that's not going to impact them too much about that blue. There were a few other plugins that I remember seeing some early reports on, like Elementor. Some of the blue that was in there was also conflicting with their color scheme or something like that. So if you're a plugin dev, would highly recommend that you get in and start testing how that all works for your plugin. All right. So I looked through some of those performance aspects, page admin, load time, layout shifts. Now, again, I'm testing on a local site at the moment. I will probably run through this same exact test again later this afternoon on an actual staging site that I have, my personal staging site that I have at GoDaddy, just to check and see how that works. And I love that we're able to now offer testing the beta releases in staging so you know what's coming or not. Conduct regression tests by comparing behavior with previous versions to confirm workflows, settings remain stable, report any issues at this ticket. So if I had an issue, I would click on the ticket that's there or the issue that's there and go provide some comments on that one. All right. Customizable overlay for the nav block. This one, we just installed 2021. And I remember when 2021 came out and where the navigation block, how it worked at that time. We continue to see gradual improvements on nearly every release working on this nav block. So let's do it today again. Insert a nav block on a template. Select the navigation block and look for the settings. Look for the overlay customization controls and create a custom overlay. Preview it in the editor and view it on the front end. Okay, so in the nav bar, look for settings inside the right panel. All right, let's make a nav bar in a template. Appearance. Oh, I think what I'm going to do is also reactivate 2025 for this one because I want a nav block, which means I want site editing experience. So I'll jump into the editor. I didn't want the classic theme version of the nav bar, right? And so templates. And we'll make a template I'll just make one for a post since this is all just testing. All right. Yeah, we'll play with Hello World. Why not? This is not how you would normally do this. I'm going to close out of that. And at the top of this, I want to add in nav. There is navigation. Very simple at the moment. So sample page. All right. So I don't have too many pages in this site. So we're going to go into create a page, call it contact. Sure. All right. You get the idea. There's a couple things going on up here. It's interesting. I was getting them doubled. I'll have to look into that one. Okay. I'm looking on the right-hand side. Link it to, open new tab, edit view description. I need to select the entire nav menu And now on the right-hand side, take a look at where things are in here. So, oh, there we go. Submenu and overlay text, submenu and overlay background. Let me look at the directions again. Yep. Settings, overlay, create a custom overlay. Select the nav block settings, look for overlay, customization controls, and create a custom overlay. Okay. So I see submenu, but I'm not remembering submenu when I'm reading. Is that just me? Could be today. Overlay customization controls and create a custom, look for settings, look at the overlay customization controls. So the ones that I'm seeing, if anyone's in the chat able to point me in the right direction, please do. All right, so submenu and overlay text or overlay background. Let's see what happens here. Save, view, site, title. It was down here for Hello World. That's where we got that weird menu, right? Interesting. This is getting a little unclear. Let me go back and see. This one being the one they don't have a video for. Log them here, follow for more details. So let's open up the issue and see where I'm supposed to see it. Do I get any pictures? Draft. Nope, no pictures. Let's take a look at the draft. Thank you, Maggie, for sharing a draft. Customizable overlays. Looks like this one is indeed actually published. So, theme developers, you know, how overlays work. Site editor sidebar. Controls in the site editor because they are template parts. They can be found and edited via the pattern section in the site editor sidebar. Each overlay is assigned to a nav block, while the same overlay can be reinforced by more than one. One-to-one relationship is the most common pattern. Creating an overlay via the overlay section in the nav block's sidebar controls. Selecting an existing one or a theme pre-assignment. All right. So let me slow down in edit mode of this thing. Right. Go to appearance, editor. I want to look at it under the patterns section. Let's see in the patterns if we have a navigation pattern. And we'll go into the header. Duplicate so that I can edit it while it is unlocked. Ryan Welcher. Wrong panel, not style, settings. Can I just say how amazing the name of the stream is? Click around and find out. That's clearly what I'm doing, folks. So right now I'm digging into the navbar, and Carolina's given me a direction. Wrong panel, not styles. Go to settings. Okay. So I will jump back on out of this one. I was going to create the pattern. Add a pattern. Yeah. Courtney's nav bar. Sure. And I'm not going to sync it. We're just doing a test here. The site will blow up when done, as usual. Okay, so in there, nav. Okay, got a nav and settings, not in the styles. Overlay template. There we go. Now I see it down below. Under the styles, I was seeing only for the submenus. And so if I want to see it for the menu area, well, that's interesting. Let's see what the defaults are in here. Design. And if I want to zoom out, does that change my, nope. It's odd to me that I look like I'm in kind of a mobile view when I'm doing this. Like I would expect it to be a horizontal view since I didn't specify yet for this to be a preview of the, let's go view site. I don't know if it's going to give me the end result. Template part. Let's go to, there is navigation overlay. Yeah, I like the naming of it. I might have brainstormed on that one a little bit with some AI help. All right, so now I'm going to go put the pattern into a post or a page. Still clicking around to find out. That's what we do. All right. And I'm going to get into edit the template for single posts. Sure. Let's take that one out, delete, and instead add the pattern that I just created. So it should be uncategorized. And I put in my name for it. Courtney Navbar. There we go. Let's see what it does. Oh, I don't want it there. Okay. And edit. Navbars, they trick me up constantly. All right. So my navbar is there. I guess now what I'm looking for is, this is the post, single post template, is where I should be able to see it. So I want to get back out of this. Command palette is your friend, folks. Test the nav. And we're going to just type in, the words. Hit publish, and view. And, am I just not understanding this navbar? I did the thing. How should I see it now? I mean, I selected one that was black in the background and white text. Template parts can also be found editing the patterns. I did that. Clearly, that was a little bit of a challenge. What goes inside the overlay, up to the author. I just picked one of the pre-loaded options. I really just want to see an example of one in use. Friends that are in the chat area on the side, if you've got an example of one that's been done, that I can go look at a done one to understand this feature is opt-in. Navigation block will be used with the standard overlay behavior. Custom overlay can be activated. Create it, selecting an existing overlay, which I did, and try to apply it. All right. Well, I'm going to come back to that one because it has me stumped from the directions as to what it should look like and where I should find it. For theme devs, bundling overlays with your theme. Template part is the overlay itself. The overlay shows when the button menu is toggled on. So it's probably set to only show on narrow screens, Carolina says. Thank you, Carolina. Let's go to add. So in this one, I'm going to go back in, and it's interesting. I could hide a post from inside the command palette. Appearance. Editor. Pattern. And I want the one that I just made. Courtney. There we go. Select this. On the right. Mobile. Yeah, that's what it is. Carolina, you are so correct. So I'm going to do it and that would be why I was seeing it as skinny mode before. Default or nav. Got it. So now if I am on this one and I shrink my screen up, So sorry if you heard the barks. Testing the nav menu. Here you go. There we are. Okay. Now I get it. It would be good to have a visual in there too. Hello, Jamie Marsland. Hello, Adam Silver. The overlay in the header template part. Yep, got there. Adam Silver is I guess walking the dog. I'm not sure. There's a dog. Thanks, Adam. So, yep, got the mobile overlay that's in there. Fantastic. All right. Thank you all for helping me through that. It goes to show that no matter how close you are to knowing WordPress, the product, sometimes you still miss some of the details in these steps. So it's always good to get an in test. Real-time collaboration. I'm not prepared to test that with you all today. Oh, yeah. Adam says he heard the bark. That would be my dog announcing probably that the mail is here, but I'm not sure. So real-time collaboration, I will probably need a tester to help me with one of those things. I did see this one demonstrated on the live stream that Matt was on. If you dig back through make.wordpress.org/core, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, there was a live stream with Matt. The video has been embedded into the post that announces that. So I did get to see the live stream, and Anne was helping demo that one at the time with Matthias. That looks really good. Right now, it's going to be limited from what I remember to just 2 people at a time. Install 7, new install, open post for editing. Start with a regular post, of course, but remember that the pages are posts. Custom post types are posts too. So yeah, invite someone else to come in and share in real time. So this would have to have someone else on your site. And since I'm using a local test site, that's not going to happen at the moment. Most blocks are going to be compatible. Blocks are synced via attributes. So just note that some blocks might be used in a local state when working with user input, which can result in issues with real-time collaboration. So that means that if you add a certain kind of a block in that uses a local state, then don't hit save, that somebody else co-editing at the same time would not see that yet. And I don't know how quickly that will get refreshed. So it looks like a good area to test on. Collaborate, cursor disappear in the show template view. Yep. So would encourage folks to, if you already have someone signed up to help you, another user on your site, go in and get started with that. Under new blocks and updates, adds an icon block, breadcrumbs, and tabs. Breadcrumb block. Wow. I remember that was cutting edge new stuff that was being created in like the SEO plugins. Let's go back to my dashboard. Yep. We'll leave all this. And the next thing is I want to go in and make a post that shows the icon block. And icon, right? And so this is the icon block. Icon, insert an SVG icon. Okay. Read directions. Icon block lets you add more icons to testing steps. Open a poster page, insert the icon block. Try out the options you see. The breadcrumbs block ships with some other stuff. Okay, so we'll look. This is interesting. So it says insert one, but it's not giving me like a click to add one or upload a file. Choose icon. We'll do that. So it was like you could add one, but all right. I will use a people icon. I wonder if any of the old, this could just be my curiosity icon. Do we have, so yeah, when you see this, it doesn't show me the menu bar, which is why I got stumped right away. Now, if I click off and click back onto it, how do I get that line again to appear? The icon block looks nice next to the breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs block doesn't have an icon of its own for the home yet. Yeah, I'm wondering also, Carolina, if we have any of the oh gosh, what were they called? The WordPress specific icons. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name of them. All right. So this one, it let me in to pick out the icon here. it's fickle about showing me the nav bar. That's what I really want is I want to see that nav bar, and it doesn't do that right away. Icon, right? So I just added an icon. I want the toolbar to show up immediately so that I know where to click to add an icon, because just clicking on it, it didn't even come up some of the times that I clicked on it like first thing right away. So that's weird. Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of all the default icons that we have currently. But what I'm not seeing in there is, yeah, Dashicons. Kellen, my goodness, Kellen, it's good to see you here. Yes, Dashicons are absolutely what I was referring to. That was the blank. So yeah, I'm not seeing Dashicons in there. I wonder if we can convert them and add them in, because we use them in different parts of WordPress itself. Like in the dashboard, sometimes I think there are a couple of, it's more common to see Dashicons pop up in the dashboard, but it'd be nice to be able to add them into front of site as well. So I'm wondering if that could be done. I will note some of the trouble that I'm having with getting the icon block to show me the nav bar. All right, and testing steps for the next one. For breadcrumbs, open a hierarchical post and insert a breadcrumb block. So that's a word to say, hierarchical. All right, I'm gonna go to a pages area. It's been a hot minute, Kellen. It's good to see a couple of you guys popping in today. All right, I'm just gonna, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll just select something. Page, parent page. Anyone remember the days when we used to have those plugins that were like reorder your pages and posts before we had child pages, and everything was dependent on how things show up in the nav bar? All right, I'm gonna add one more in just to make it a, yep, sure. We'll call this child page. And parent is set as parent page, right? Hit publish. Got it. Now we're going to jump back out to parent page and see, before the pattern kicks in, breadcrumbs. Save. That's good. Yeah, I'm holding on, Kellen. I'm getting the weekly updates on, let's go see in the child page too, if that shows up right. I'm getting the weekly updates that it's at least compliant with Chrome changes. And we will enter breadcrumbs, and that says child page. Cool. The separator is there as a slash. You can replace it with other things. Show home and home breadcrumb, home in the breadcrumbs or not. So if you don't want them to have slash home, that's fine. Show current breadcrumb, can choose to turn that off or not. Under the styling, yep, typography, all that's looking good. I want to double check what else. What are the other block options in here? Setting separator, yeah. So we don't have a whole lot of block support there yet, but we see that we've got some, and that one is good. All right, so we got through breadcrumbs. Yeah, mostly I'll come back and report my findings later of make sure that the navbar pops that tool tip or the toolbar block over it. Testing steps for the tabs block. Lets you build tabbed content area right inside the block editor. You can nest a variety of blocks inside the content area. Open a post, insert the tabs block, click tabs button to add tabs, and add more. All right. So this plus the details block have been ones that I have long wanted. We got the details block a couple of years ago. Let's see now on tabs. Doing it in a page, even though it said a post, but whatever. All right. I'll just go in. Tabs. Huh. Interesting. Didn't see when I did a slash for tabs, tabs show up. So I guess I will go to a post and follow the rules. Open a post, insert the tabs block. Okay. Posts. Add post. that slash command should do it. Test that one more time, but now inside a post. Tabs. Nope, doesn't do it from the slash command. So let's go up to tabs. What? Insert the tabs block. I'm not finding it from any of the searches. Click the tabs button to add tabs. I feel like, gallery gets some updates. Cover block will support external video, and grid block is getting new controls. Those are cool, but we'll come back to that. Down here, let's see if anyone is reporting the tabs. Doing almost the same thing as Ravi, actually. Update, PR, flag pattern editing and content only. Tabs block was removed, moved out of it. Bummer. So just noticed this on the live stream. While walking through the directions, can you, can the author of the post please modify the directions since that has been dropped? Might have to spell it correctly. I speak English, but sometimes I still don't remember the spelling of the things. All right, so we looked at the tabs stuff, and it's not just me hallucinating. No, in fact, we really don't have the tabs block. And so I found out in the comments below. I thought I remembered hearing that it was dropped, but it'd be really good to keep this kind of a document up to date as those things get dropped and added. Okay, 3 other blocks got some updates. Gallery adds a light box to switch between images. Cover block will support external video, and grid is getting new controls. That looks good. If you'd like to dive into them more yourself, by all means, go in. Client-side media processing in the browser. Cool. More advanced image formats. AVIF, here we go, I think. So with more options and enhancements, this is still only the beginning. You can expect future releases to do even more. Handle the tasks like image resizing and compression for smoother image processing. All right, so we're probably not going to see too many differences, but let me go in and upload some kind of image. Let's make it a gallery so we can test 2 things at the same time, right? Media library. Let's see what images. Actually, I'm going to go. Sorry to run you around, folks. I'm going to go add in some media so it will save it to local since I don't have anything prepared. So we'll go with rainbow. Again, rainbow. Rainbow. There we go. Yep, we're going to insert this one as an external into the gallery. I'll put it if it will let me. I know that these are not local, but we'll see. Can I make a gallery out of those? It wants to group it. Let's see. It can transform to a gallery. All right, we'll at least test this. I'll delete that one. So here's my gallery. Hit publish. Testing the gallery block. View the post. Got some pretty rainbows. Now I'll go back to edit and make sure that I've checked the settings. For the whole gallery, not just the one image. So settings on the whole gallery, crop to fit, randomize the order, aspect ratio. Where's the lightbox thing? Like, does that just automatically turn on? And I realized on top of that I was working in a different browser window. Go figure. It's been a little bit since I've done this, folks. All right, close that. So over here in the settings for the entire thing, I would expect the Lightbox information to show up in there, and I'm not seeing anything about it. Edit post, do help test. This gallery box adds a Lightbox to switch between the images, but it wasn't showing me that one actually. Could be that they're external and I just need to rerun the test internally to be sure. Cover block will support external video. So now you could go put your YouTubes behind things. Let's edit this one. Put a cover, not at the cover area, right? Use a media library, use featured image, do upload. That's fine. Background, whatever. Cover block. Settings. Style. Add media. To open, upload, use featured image, or embed from URL. I kind of would like to see that embed from URL. If I am doing a cover here, right? I expect at this point to see where it says upload, select from media library, or use a featured image. I would expect to see that the insert from a URL to be presented here, because I don't know what to choose until I get in there. So I don't have a link to be able to put there yet at this point. So I'm going to just make it gray, and then I can, the toolbar still doesn't pop up right away for me, right? Where'd my toolbar go? Come on. There it is. It takes a minute. And I could do an add media. And I would want all of these options to be available there. So I could go get a video for you. YouTube. And getting the video. And of course, drop it in on this one. Add the video. And oh no, the one I selected is only available on YouTube itself. So at least we know theoretically it's working. We don't get a lot of controls over how it moves in the background yet, but with more testing, you might have that option available for you. All right, let's see. So we did that. Grid block is getting some new controls. Let's see. Grid. So the grid block came out, I think, in 6.8 maybe. We get columns, position is set where it's set. That's all kind of normal stuff that's in there. Let's see over here. Styles. We have some different styles that your theme can help set there. Ooh. Style 4, default, and then there. Background, we can have a background image behind things. That's new. Then we get our normal margins, padding, spacing, typography, etc. So pretty good. Under border, radius. I'm wondering if we can get drop shadow controls in here. I know people are like, what? Why? I just like the ability to provide them everywhere. I don't use them often, but why not provide them and let people make that choice? All right, help test. Let's take a look at my next step. PHP compatibility update. That should be good. Not receiving a major. Site owner should bump up to 8.3 on staging before updating to 7.0. This change helps WordPress take advantage of the newer PHP features and performance improvements. It's interesting that they want it to be in a specific order. So at the end of all of this, it tells me all the things to kind of keep testing on. I did give some feedback already at the very end and said, hey, I would like the directions to be revised, but I'm going to go back through the recording of this. Truth be told, I'll probably just grab the transcript and then submit some feedback around times when the toolbars weren't showing up where I wanted them to, etc., and drop in a link of this replay. Please, 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 if you are in the WordPress ecosystem and you're tuned in, check with your plugins and your themes before you decide to run the update. If you happen to work for any of those companies that are creating those things, definitely get in and test, because we know that the release is coming in early April. And we really need to get on it. So the door closes in a little under a week for anything that needs to be added or changed. Technically, beta 4 ships next Thursday. The following Thursday is RC1. In between them, we reach the point of code free. So when RC1 ships, then no new code gets changed without having a couple of core commits sign off on it. So it takes a lot more effort to change any code at that time. So if you're going to go in and test and you find things that break, as we do, leave your comments in there and just know that it really matters that we get all of those feedback items in and work done on them before we hit release candidate 1 in 2 weeks from today. Thanks so much. Look for me to be kicking off more of these kind of impromptu times. I might one day get as organized as Ryan Welcher is about scheduling his streams, but I might not. We'll see how it works out. Thanks all that tuned in. I'll see you again soon.